Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Successful Hairstylist podcast. I'm Ren Lopa, and today is for all the hairstylists out there who may be struggling to get their schedules filled up. I'm going to be sharing my 3 client per day strategy to help you reach this goal faster. Let's jump in. For those of you that haven't been here before, I'm Ren, and you better believe I lowered my seat so that my whole bun could be in frame in this episode. So now that we got that right, we're all centered, we're looking good. Let's jump in. All right, so let's break this down. In our training today, there are going to be 4 different parts. So first, I'm going to share with you guys the current income statistics for women in our industry and in the country in general. Then I'm going to share with you guys why 3 clients per day could be your secret to success. In the third part, I'm going to outline the 6 tips to achieve 3 clients per day. And then in the fourth section, I'm going to share this juicy bonus tip pulled directly from behavioral brain research that will help you actually follow through on your goals and stay consistent. Okay, part 1 coming up. All right, so I thought it was important to start this conversation by setting some benchmarks for ourselves. I think a lot of times we set these random goals. We just think about what we want to make or what sounds like a good number to us, what we think would be good. But why not look at what is happening in our country and in our industry and then set some benchmarks that way? First of all, we're going to know it's achievable. And second of all, we're going to have these little wins that we can hit on our way up. I also want to take this research and make it super relatable to what this looks like behind the chair in terms of clients and average ticket. So as you hear these numbers, you're actually going to see how they apply directly to our industry. Okay, so I have my research here. I will be reading my notes. Don't get mad. The average hairstylist in the United States right now currently makes $36,000 per year. If we translate this into sales behind the chair, that would be on average $72,000 in sales, which equals $6,000 in sales per month. Now, if we look at per day, considering people would work, let's say, a traditional 5-day work week, that breaks down to $300 a day. And if we are setting our goal for 3 clients per day, which I highly recommend you do, you'll see why later, that would be $100 average ticket. I would say if you are below this is going to be your first goal, your first benchmark, is to really get up to speed with others in our industry. After that, we are going to aim for the average women's income in the US as a whole, which is $56,316 per year, okay? How this breaks down is to $112,632 in sales annually. What that equals per month is $9,386 a month, which is $470 a day for a 5-day work week. With 3 clients a day, we're at $156 average ticket. Okay, so that is going to be that middle benchmark. And then if you want to reach for being part of the top 20% of women earners in the United States, that would bring us to $75,000 a year or more, which is $150,000 in sales, which breaks down to $12,500 months and $625 per day for 5 days a week, and just $208 average ticket with 3 clients a day. Women in today's economy would see the 208 average ticket, which is the top 20% income, as a steal. I want you guys to understand that this is achievable and it is possible. So often we set these goals trying to be like the top 1% of our industry. And while I don't think there's anything wrong with that because it's good to push ourselves and create a vision, it's also really, really easy to get discouraged, especially when we're in that 5 to 10 year mark of our career where we can kind of hit a plateau. I also want to break this down a little bit more. So 3 clients per day. Let's say your clientele rebooks on an average of 8 weeks. So 3 clients per day who rebook for 8 weeks, that would mean you would have a full clientele at 120 clients, okay? That's how many total clients you would need to have in order to be fully booked every single month. The reason why I wanted to look at this is because it is really easy for us, especially online, to see all of the other hairstylists, all of the other salons that are out there, and to feel like there's maybe not enough women or clients or demand or interest to go around for all of us, right? It's like, there's already a ton of great stylists. Who's going to want to come and see me? But listen, 120 clients is all you need to be fully booked and be in the top 20% of female earners in our country. With 50,000 women approximately in every city, 120 clients is just 0.2% of the women in your city. So not even 1%. It is 2%, okay? This means that there is more than enough for you to build a successful career at a price point that would make people feel excited, at a pace that will not be too hectic for you, that doesn't require double booking, but will get you to where you want to go. I hope that these statistics are showing you how possible and attainable things are. So let's go ahead now and move into part 2, where we're going to talk about why 3 clients per day. The first and the most important reason is that we need to set goals that are not dependent on our clients. And here's what I mean. 9 times out of 10, when I ask hairstylists their goal, they give me a sales goal. And while that, I understand it, I get why we do it. The issue is we are not in control of what our clients choose to get with their services. If they want to do less, if they want to do more, if they change their mind, if anything, right? Like, we can only control our marketing, how we're showing up, getting people in the door, and giving a great experience. So when we're setting goals on factors we can't control, we are actually basically guaranteeing we are going to become resentful of the very thing we got into this industry for, which is our clients and to make women feel beautiful. So setting a goal like 3 clients per day, it puts the focus totally on our efforts, which means we can actually succeed at this. The second reason why 3 clients per day works is because it is a very clear, simple goal. It is 3 clients per day. Again, a lot of times when we're setting goals, what do? We say, well, on Saturday, I want this many clients and I want this. And then, I'd really like to eventually start having more of this type of clientele. I want to have extension clients. I want to have this. Like, we are really all over the place. So having 3 really gives our brain something to focus on, and again, ways that we can actually win, see progress, and feel proud of ourselves, which is so fundamental to keeping on behind the chair. Because let's be real, in the day-to-day of customer service, it's rough out there. It can be hard to stay focused on what matters, why we got into this, and how we're going to reach that next goal. Okay, the third and final reason that the 3 clients per day strategy works is because you have many ways to win. Here's what I mean. You can look at your schedule and say, okay, as of right now, I have 1 day a week that has 3 clients in it, right? Or I have 1 day a month that has 3 clients booked in the same day, okay? And that's Saturday. So then our next goal here would be, I want 2 days a month. This is how we start to expand our clientele. And what I want you to do for every single day that you have those 3 client days is I want you to come up with a very simple reward for yourself. We need to reward these achievements and milestones so that we can actually start to feel good about what we're doing. Running businesses on our own, it is really, really hard to take a moment and congratulate ourselves on all the hard work we're doing, or even to see the growth that we're making, the progress that we're making every day. It's easier for us to focus on our flaws, what could have been better, or what seems to be lacking from the stylists that we see online or around us in our area. But this helps you have something very tangible to focus on and celebrate on a regular basis. All right, so let's go ahead and move into part 3, which is all about the 6 tips to actually reach 3 clients per day. Tip number 1 to hit this 3 client a day strategy is something I call next available. So let's be honest. I know many of you out there, when you get a new client, you feel a little bit anxious and you might delay where you're putting them on your schedule. You might have availability for tomorrow or even tonight, but instead, you feel a little anxious, so you wait 4 to 5 days. Maybe you throw them on your schedule end of next week just because you're having that overwhelm and that nervousness about working with somebody new. If we continue to stretch out and give ourselves all of this time, we are not helping ourselves build the muscle to overcome the anxiety and to get used to the pace that we are going to need to be at in order to reach our goals. So, when someone asks you when they can come in, I want you to very honestly give them your next available. Another benefit of practicing this next available strategy is that your clients will be more likely to show up. If you guys have ever struggled with having first time clients cancel or no show at the last minute, it could just be the appointment is just too far away for them to commit to. Getting them in sooner is really going to cut down on those cancellations, no shows, and reschedules. Tip number 2 is what I call a move up. Now, this is going to help you so much when it comes to cancellations, reschedules, and those no shows that happen. What we're going to do is when that happens, yes, you can have your policies in place for that. But what I want you to do is I want you to look at your schedule, see who's booked for the rest of the week, and see who has been in on that day before, who was really excited about coming in and getting their hair done. Then we're going to text them and see if they want to move up their appointment to the time that just canceled. So now we are buying ourselves maybe 3 or 4 days to fill an appointment versus filling the appointment today. Practicing moving up clients to then fill later in your week is a very simple way to keep your schedule going and not just see these cancellations and no-shows as $0, but as an opportunity to just move a couple people around and get creative. I want you guys to always understand what you can control. We cannot control if people come to their appointment, if they reschedule, if they get sick, if they have a death in the family, etc. What we can control is having a system to bounce back quickly. Okay, tip number 3 for setting up and reaching this 3 client per day strategy is all about scheduling and how you book appointments into your schedule. So this is what this looks like. I know so many stylists who will ask their client what time they want to come in and then just book them at that time, even if it's a totally random time, like in the middle of the day. What we need to do instead is we need to get in the habit of strategically booking our clients. So, what this can look like is something I call first and last, and then stack. Okay, so first and last, when you have no one on your schedule for a day, instead of just booking that client whatever time they want to come in, I want you to offer them the first and last appointment of the day. Now, I know you guys are very stubborn about hanging on to that end of day time because maybe you can leave early. But remember, we are pushing ourselves to grow a business. We're not going to get there by playing hooky or not staying and working our full schedule. So that's what we're going to do if it's a totally empty day, is offer them that first appointment or that last appointment. If you do have appointments on the day that they're coming in, what you want to do is you want to stack. So you either want to put them right before the appointment that's on your book or right after. Again, I know you guys love to leave lots of room in between appointments because you never know what's going to happen and you don't want to feel stressed out at all. But again, every time we follow this, we stack our appointments, we make these goals, we are building that muscle to have the endurance and the ability, emotional, physical, mental ability to keep up the pace of a successful hairstylist, of your future self in 5 years. You're building that practice, and it's so important. All right, tip number 4 is all about our timing. So if we're going to have 3 clients per day and you are working, let's say, an 8-hour shift, this would break down to 2.5 hours per client. Some of you out there might be realizing that your average time per client is 4 hours, so this would never work for you. What I want you guys to understand is that every hairstylist out there, depending on what services you're offering, it's gonna be a little bit different, but mastering our timing, whether you're a blonding specialist or an extension specialist, is really, really vital to being able to successfully get fully booked. So let's take a look at this. What would a 2.5 hour 200 plus service look like? When I was behind the chair, I specialized in what I called dimensional color. And this is exactly what would work well for this type of timing and price point. The majority of my clients would come in and they would get a base color to cover their gray, a partial foil for dimensional color, a gloss in between the foils. So that would essentially even out anything that isn't highlighted. Then they would get a toner for the highlights, a conditioning treatment, a haircut, and a blow dry. All in all, this would even out to about $224 before tip. So, this is exactly the kind of service that you can offer quickly and effectively. Now, these dimensional color services are great because the color all processes at the same time. A great tip to really mastering your timing is going to be we want to have some kind of timer out on our station that only we can see and really keep track of maybe where we lose time and where we're more efficient. Managing our timing is never about being sloppy or rushing or being subpar at what we're doing. It is just about being effective. If it takes you 4 hours to make $200 in services, something has to give in order to make this work. And in my opinion, it's unethical for that to mean you just charge people more because you haven't mastered your efficiency and timing. Tip number 5 is all about upgrading your client service experience and increasing that average ticket. It's so important to know express services that you can do quickly that are great upgrades and that your clients will absolutely love. A few of my favorite ones are going to be scalp scrubs for thicker, faster growing hair, shine glosses, conditioning treatments, celebrity style. So, this would be a hot tool add on. So, curls, waves, making it super sleek and straight. Sun-kissed foils, so just maybe 5 foils around the face with 2 to 3 levels of lift makes them all sun-kissed, super easy upgrade. An extra 5 minutes on the scalp massage. You guys will be shocked at how many people will happily hand over $20 more to have that extra relaxation. And then also steam treatments are becoming more popular too. So itemize out and make a list of all of these services that you can do in 10 minutes or less, 15 minutes or less, and charge at least $20. Then have them on rotation of different offers that you can have. Throw them on a little VIP menu you can hand people at your station, whatever makes it easy for you to feel good about offering your clients these extra things. All right, we are to the last tip, tip number 6, which is endurance. I 100% believe that hairstylists are essentially athletes. This means we need to train, do drills, care for our bodies, and stay at peak performance in order to build the businesses that we love. Now, some people might see this as a drawback or a curse, but I see this as an amazing opportunity to just show up for ourselves. Some simple examples of caring for our bodies and staying in peak performance would be, doing cardio 3 times a week. So that could be long walks, jump rope, jumping jacks, hula hooping, like make it fun. Then we want to add in that strength training. This doesn't involve crazy equipment. It could be as simple as planks, push-ups, sit-ups, and squats. Okay, like even 10 minutes of that kind of activity really matters and can keep your body functioning. The last thing we want to do is work so hard to build a clientele and to get fully booked. And then once we're there and we're earning the money we dreamed of, not be able to physically sustain it. So important to build the physical, emotional, and mental endurance to build the business that we feel proud and fulfilled having. All right, now it's time to dive into part 4, that behavioral brain research that I found that I think you guys are really going to be inspired by. In this study, researchers found that the people who tended to give up on their goals all had one thing in common. They focused more on the effort versus the reward of what they were doing. So, taking this knowledge and knowing how easy and tempting it is to give up on what we're working towards and give up on new systems that we implement, I want you guys to set yourself up for success here and create these reminders and touch points of all the rewards that you are going to have along the way to building this beautiful business. Some rewards that might be on the top of your mind are going to be, enough income to travel to Italy, to hire a house manager to take care of your home for you, to eat out more, to send your kids to a private school or go to Disneyland, enough money to help your mom with her bills or hire a landscaper for her, etc. There's so many reasons we want to make money that are less about money and more about experiences and feelings that we're going to have or be able to do with it. Focus on these rewards, especially when you get discouraged, because when we get discouraged and we tend to see what's not working or how much effort we're putting in and it's not paying off. And as soon as we find ourselves in that place, if we don't refocus quickly, we are right so close to giving up. And you don't deserve to give up on your dream. Again, you deserve to break past these barriers, to build an incredible business. Like, why not you? Why not you? Something that I personally do when I'm working towards things is I will make a beaded bracelet that has a phrase that relates to the reward or goal that I'm working on. I will change the back of my phone to have it in there somewhere. I'll put it on my mirror. It'll also be in my car. Essentially, everywhere that I am on a consistent basis, I try to have some kind of reminder there that keeps me grounded in what it's all for. It's finding ways to do whatever it takes to stay focused on the reward and on your goal and trusting that it is coming and it is going to happen. If you enjoyed this episode, I highly recommend checking out episode 161, which is 5 Instagram stories to book new clients this week. You can click it right here or find it in the show notes. I'll see you all next week.